financial report, I would like to have a discussion about, there's been some emails and some phone calls about county budget and about the $500,000 line item that we had granted to us from the council last year, of which we've spent $27,000. So we have a balance of $470-some thousand there. And in chatting with some members of the council, including Gary and David Hunt, and Mindy's been a part of it. There's and I'm not sure of the mechanics of all of it. Once I think you have to ask for the money again or give it back and try to ask for it again or something. But as part of that, I think it's appropriate and would entertain the thought of lowering that in light of the council running a deficit right now. And instead of holding that $473,000, get it down to a smaller number, 200,000 or something like that, where we would have some money to immediately use if we have a project come up out of the TIP district. As of right now, I don't know anything that's pending with that. After chatting again with a couple members of the council, if we spend that and then something else comes up, I've been assured that as usual they would be open to entertaining, to helping us if we have something that's pending with that. Gary, I'd appreciate your remarks, please.
Well, it's pretty much, I mean, you've detailed pretty much what was been discussed, and I think there's an outstanding bill that's going to come in. It'll lower this to 430-something thousand, is that right? And so I think council's response, they would leave $200,000 in that account and maybe make it to pay that bill and then have $200,000 to operate with for 2026. And I think the council's shown its interest in supporting this. The RDC's done good things, and we've done a lot of things, and the council is going to be supportive. But only putting $200,000 up for 2026, I think, is probably would make the council a lot more comfortable.
Okay. With that, any discussion from the other members of the commission?
Yeah, just a quick question. So is the money in our accounts or is it just appropriated?
Both, actually.
Okay.
So how it works is the appropriation is spending authority for next year.
Okay.
And so you guys requested the authority to spend all of it and really more than you have. And so I think the concept is that the council, needing a little room, said, why don't we lower that a little bit? So they don't take away your cash.
Right.
Your cash would remain at 460 or 430,000, whatever it is. No?
Yeah, it's not there. That's kind of why I was.
No? Why not?
I don't think we've gotten the cash.
No, you do have the cash.
We do?
You do have the cash, but they're talking about returning, dropping the appropriation to 200,000 and returning the overage in that cash back to county general. That's what the discussion was. Yeah. So we would need a resolution to.
Oh, I thought it was a reduction.
It's a
of this
reduction.
year's budget. Okay.
And returning cash. We're doing two things.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Told me the second part.
Okay, yeah. So you have the appropriation now for 500,000 for 2026. I think the council was requesting that you drop that appropriation to 200,000. And with that, we would leave the cash, return any cash over 200,000 back to county general. But with paying that extra bill, and so we would pay that extra bill, leave you $200,000 cash, and then return the balance of that to county general. And we.
I'm okay with that. It seems a complicated way to do it, but that's the way that government works.
Yeah, it would take a resolution and.
Okay.
So what do we need to do
Well,
then?
why is the cash part important? Help me with that.
Because the cash will go back into county general.
But does the county need the cash in county general right now?
Yes, well, next year, yeah, we need it. Because we're eating into cash balance in county general.
Well, that could be done anytime, though. I mean, the county doesn't need that money in cash now, right? In 2025?
Not in 2025.
Okay, so if they reduce their appropriation to next year, they could always return cash next year if it were needed. Because, yeah, then otherwise, what you have to do is you have to pass a resolution. They would have to pass a resolution transferring it to a different fund.
Right,
And then if they go back and ask for more money, there has to be that additional approved with no cash to support it. If they just reduce their budget for next year but keep their cash, that appropriation, then that additional appropriation can be approved because they have cash. So you're proposing they do a reduction of cash now, and then you would do a transfer into them, in addition to appropriation, a transfer of funds next year if they need it.
that's what was discussed, but if you want to keep, I mean, I'm not the decision maker, I'm just suggesting.
It's all in county general,
No, it's,
no matter who's in charge of it.
Two
No.
different funds. RDC general is different than county general.
yeah, it's sitting in two different buckets.
The treasurer don't control it, invest it if it's not being used, all that good stuff.
We still do.
Yeah, if we could at least do the approval for the reduction, then we can table or just not do the,
Yeah, I think the reduction of the money you don't need this year makes sense. I think the lowering of the budget also makes sense. I'm leery of the transfer of the cash because it is difficult. If the county came to you sometime next year and said, hey, look, we need cash, that'd be one thing. I just haven't seen that in the correspondence, really, the need for cash. I understand the appropriation side completely, but it is really difficult to transfer these funds. And again, I just haven't seen that yet, would be my take on it. And so I wouldn't do it until we have to. Now, if you're willing to do it, that's great, but I mean, I just wouldn't do it until we have to.
Jeff, you got anything to weigh in on this?
I don't. It's, whatever it is you're concerned with. I get Dan's issue. It's difficult to transfer it back again. Are you really going to be so short on the general fund that 200 and some $1,000s of cash is going to make the difference? No. If you get that low, we have much bigger problems. But again, it would be available there if we ever did get to that point, that you could take it back.
So I think the suggestion then maybe for right now is to table this for right now, but
We're trying to get the budget done.
I think the appropriation side you could do today. If you want to get more information on the transfer of money, that would be the maybe a more appropriate thing to do.
does that work for you?
that works for me. If we can reduce 2026 to 200,000, the appropriation.
Okay, so then I would look for a motion to reduce appropriation to $200,000.
So moved.
And a second,
Second.
reluctant second for Brad. Any discussion?
Does DLGF have to approve and all these things with your guys' budget similar to the school?
Yes, yeah. So we were just trying to bump the cash balance of county general. That was the thought behind it, but if we reduce the 2026 appropriation to 200,000, it's a start. I don't necessarily, I mean, I want to put the money back in county general, but I'll take the appropriation. Also for 2025, it would make sense to go ahead and drop that down to 200,000 as well. So we're not doing it again, yeah. So if we could do both of those years, that would be great.
So do we,
Maybe just vote on your first motion and then we'll do the reduction for 2025.
Okay, so
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So I had a motion and a second to reduce the appropriation to $200,000, given that we have another bill out there that we're going to pay.
Right.
Any discussion anymore on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, looks unanimous, I think. Motion passes.
Now, a motion to reduce the 2025 appropriation to 200,000.
I will make a motion to
Okay.
reduce the 2025 appropriation to 200,000.
Okay, we have a motion, and do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Jeff, does he have any input on this year's?
I do not know of any commitment that you would have above that 200,000. So decommitting the other 300,000 in 2025 should not be an issue.
Again, that's money spent outside of the TIF district, so we really don't have anything else that I know of right now. Okay, I have a motion, I have a second. We had a discussion. All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion passes. So Mindy, that accomplishes what you hoped for. And Gary, the council, you think will be okay with that? And yeah, first of all, I want to say that I appreciate the guardianship of the $500,000 to begin with. And we have tried to do a few things with it, and we have done some things with it. So we're always open to looking at other opportunities outside of the current TIF district. And if they come up, we'll take them one at a time. And if we somehow spend that money and need more for an opportunity, then we come back to the council and ask for some more money. So thank you. That was on your dime, JP, so it's your turn to take over.
Thank you. So for the annual presentation on November the 10th, we'll prepare that, circulate it around, as well as you have that new commitment or new responsibility that you had to undertake last year, which was an annual spending plan due by December 1st. I assume you want me to revise that and deliver it to you for that November 10 meeting for approval? Okay. Outside of that, that's all I have.
DT, you have anything else today? Okay. Ryan, update on projects, and I know we had a little bit of a crazy week last week with some of the stuff going on, and I haven't talked to the Nucor guys this week yet, but can you update us?
Yeah, on the Nucor water main issue down to the Nucor towers, I believe all that's been resolved, Ron. I believe that they're getting their occupancy permit. They've stopped calling me and asking questions, so I think everything's good. Usually no questions are good spot to be with that. On the actual project with Great X, like I mentioned before, Jake Lowe, me, and the designer met with Great X, and we did our final walkthrough. They have a punch list of items, 5 or 6 fairly minor items, mostly cleanup and reseeding, re-rip wrapping, that kind of stuff. They should be done with that in the next week or so. We have 5 items outstanding with Indian American Water that we're working on finalizing, including the transfer document that you guys just approved. So we'll be submitting 4 of those into Indiana American Water on Friday or by Friday of this week. The other one is currently with CSX, and that's the transfer of the right-of-way permit going under the CSX right-of-way. That's the only update I have on Nucor Towers water line. The Nucor 136 intersection improvement project. We are currently working towards stage 3 and wrapping up the final environmental document. We're getting close on all of that. Still on schedule for the July letting. And then the other project that I typically update you guys on is Purple Heart. We are working on trying to get that one closed as well. I know that's not an RDC project, but you guys all live in the community, and I just want to be transparent with you.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank Ryan and all others that were involved with that Nucor water main project. It was a necessary project in order to help get the new plant here. It's been a bit of a slog as we've went through it, and it's a few months maybe behind schedule. I say that, it was, you know, we were kind of targeting August, so it's not terrible as these things go, but it had a lot of stuff that needed to happen and a lot of stuff just in the last week that needed to happen. So I appreciate all the efforts from the folks in the county and such as that, along with the Ryan and the water company and such. So thank you. While we're talking, anything else, Ryan?
That's my update, I believe.
Okay. As we're discussing projects, I see we have the Chris Ham and Company. Do you have things you would talk about yet today?
Just we were asked to give a brief update on the status of the Skank Road Purple Heart corridor study. That study was the draft of the study was circulated about a month ago to city and county folks. So we're just waiting to get feedback, you know, from parties related to the recommendations and alternatives that are inside of the study. And then once that's completed, we can button that study up and present it formally to both parties. So we're just waiting on feedback at this point.
Okay.
And if we need to circulate it around again, we're certainly happy to do that.
Maybe you could do that, please.
Sure, happy to do that.
Okay. Anything else that anybody else has? Cheryl, I see you're here today. Do you have anything you'd like to add to the meeting?
I don't know if Tom has let you all know, but I've been working with CSX, and they have a select sites program, which is a certification program. And I'm working on the application for the Wiley Site 1, which is the 134 acres next to Timber. And hopefully can get that in by November. And then we'll know in January. And it's like a gold, silver, bronze certification. And then they help with promotion, and it goes on their select sites website, and they do a lot of outreach because it's a rail serve site. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a valuable piece of property out there.
What's going on. But it's a fairly substantial application.
Okay. We have claims to approve. I don't have any other staff, I think, unless somebody else has something else, we'll go ahead and move into claims.
May I jump in? I hope you can hear me. I'm online. I'm Chris. I work for BCS. I'm here on behalf of BCS. We built in the past and have managed the RDC website for a while. Lana sat down with Tom Klein and Cheryl Morphew last quarter to discuss the strategic use of the website, which could be recast as a county marketing site for economic development purposes, you know, given a new URL or domain name. And part of that meeting, we provided a report that just shows a survey of all 92 counties, where there's 86% of counties in Indiana have a dedicated website to promote the economic development opportunities in the county. Tom Klein and Cheryl have a copy of that. Glad to share it with anybody else if they'd like. And we've got a new SEO person. His name is Connor, and we're really confident we can get more eyes on Montgomery County if we've got visibility on updates and information. We'd love to push that out. So if we've got fresh info on hand, I think we can make hay for the county and support the good work that Tom, Cheryl, and everyone is doing there. So my only goal in piping up here in the meeting is just to have the board think about and discuss, continue the conversation about how you would like to see the website used. That's all I really wanted to add to the meeting.
Okay, we can take that under consideration. I don't have anything right today, but thank you for your input and questions. Okay, we'll go on into claims, and as we've had the last few months, we've got them broke down into two different sections, what I would call our normal bills. We have $19,750.64, of which Mr. Taylor's firm, 1960, $1,960, JP and his accounting folks, 3,632.66. Lockmuller, 13,733.40, and BCS Management, 424.58. So that's a total of 19,750.84. And then we have the water main project, which is obviously a lot more, and it's broken down into three different portions, with the total being 523,974.50. So I would entertain a motion to pay both sets of those bills.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Anybody have anything else today?
What was the estimate on it? You know what the estimate on that?
6-1, I think, to begin with, yeah. Julie, you have anything? Good. Motion and,
Ron, yeah,
Please.
we do not have the cash to support this second set of claims for the water main project.
that's the Ready grant.
That's, yeah, we do not have that money.
Yeah, I saw some emails on that, so
Yeah.
there's a solution in place for it, I assume.
Do you have 1.5 million we can borrow?
No.
No.
It wasn't gonna be 1.5 that we were gonna be short, but my solution was in that email that I sent, that we use the new core general fund, the 48.99 to cover it. And if we wanted to do that, and then obviously reimburse that fund when the ready money came in, if we do that, we have a transfer form to make that happen. And that is, because in the 48.99, we would have to move it to other services and charges, and that would be reducing the Economic Development Board line by $330,982.03, and that would cover the remainder of this until we got the ready money.
Before we get there, could I get a clarification as to where the original 1.5 is?
It's
In
no-
Tom Klein's email last night, his thought was that it had already been paid to the vendor.
That's what I thought too.
No, it hasn't even been received.
We have paid it. We are seeking reimbursement. So part of that I'm going from memory on the number, I'm sorry, 6.7 million of the Grade X original contract. That 1.5 million is in there. So we are,
That sum of the $6 million in payments have all been out of the bond proceeds fund.
Correct.
So where the 1.5 million is what I need to know. Has it been appropriated?
It's
I
been-
assume
so
it
that,
has
we're gonna
not.
seek reimbursement of 1.5 million for the 6 point whatever million we've spent, the Grade X.
Okay, but to be clear, we have not received the $1.5 million yet from Ready Grant 2.
That is correct. We need to seek reimbursement on it. So we have the 6.7 million Grade X contract. And 1.5 million of that will be paid for eventually by the Ready 2.0 money, is what we discussed originally.
And we, that is also
Go
an
ahead.
option. We can run it against that grant, and go in the negative in that grant, and then when the money comes in, it'll fill it. That's probably a better way to do that.
Okay, so is that mechanically how we're going to do it? You're going to run the grant negative and then restore it?
Yeah, we can run the grant negative and restore it. That is the easiest way to do it.
What do we need to do that? Anything?
We'll just change the claims and where they're paid from. So there's your solution. Lori and I will work together. We'll pay it out of that grant fund. We'll run that grant fund into the negative, and then when the money comes in, we'll be fine.
Okay, and there should actually be a positive amount when you get done with that, because there was a contingency built into that. I know you had a change order, but the contingency was greater than the change order. So there should be some funds at the end, once all of this is received and everything paid. At that point, potentially you'll have to transfer what will be a balance in that grant fund back to the bond proceeds fund, because those will be replacement bonds. Or when you get that 1.5 million as it comes in, you'll only cover the deficit in the grant fund to get it to zero and deposit the remainder back to those bond proceeds, if that makes sense, Mindy. And we can talk about that once we know it's coming and we have final numbers.
Okay,